Hello, Brave Babes. Welcome. So, I wanted to hop on today and talk to you about focusing on what you can do. So, right now, we're obviously in challenging times, and so maybe certain things that you were able to do before, in person, you're not able to do currently, correct? So, it's important to focus on what you can do. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be what you're focusing on in business right now. When it comes to this time, there are so many people needing and wanting to learn. They're wanting to learn how to do things for themselves. They're wanting to learn how to do things that will support them. They're wanting to know how to how to can foods and grow gardens and how to eat better or eat with what they have in their houses. They're wanting to learn things. So what do you already know? What do you feel like you're really good at that you could teach someone? Right now is not about creating the perfect business. Right now is about looking at what your people are needing and how you can serve them, right? And so it's important to take a look at what are your gifts and what can you do now? What could you do now and how can you bring it in a way that serves people? Serves your people or maybe serves people, that you don't know. It's about looking at, something as simple as so many women, I have heard so many women talk about oh my God, my nails, I don't have anybody to do my nails. My nails look like crap. If you know how to do nails, if you know how to do fills, making a few videos and having a small course that you charge, $17 for, $20 for, and selling it to, 50 people right now, that you could make, for a lot of you could make your rent, right? Right now is about focusing on what you can do instead of looking at what you've lost or what you don't have the ability to do right now. It's focusing on what can I do? What can I teach someone? What could I serve someone with? What can I help someone with? Right now I'm in a group, and the woman that leads this group is one of the she's built multi-million-dollar businesses, and she's built many of them, 17 different companies. And right now she's talking about the number one, some of the top things people are wanting to know are things that probably a lot of you already know how to do and are pretty damn good at. How to grow a garden, how to can vegetables, how to, people want to know if you're, I don't know if anybody in here is a mechanic, but for example, how to do an oil change. And here's the thing, so many people are, in a way, I guess you could say lazy, and they don't want to be going on YouTube, or they don't even think to go on YouTube. So giving them a step-by-step process and a step-by-step class that makes it simple, makes it easy, and they can learn how to do something really quickly and they can have an outcome quickly is something people are willing to buy. And so right now it's so important to focus on what can I do? Yes, I may not be able to see them in person, but what can I do to support them and serve them, right? What can I do to support my people? So another example, if you're, say, a real estate agent right now, and maybe you're what am I going to do? How can you go into these homes that you're selling and give virtual tours? Can you share home tips? Can you, how can you serve your people now in a way that supports them, right? Think about what your struggles are right now being at home. What are your challenges? What are your kids' challenges? What are you bored with? And focus on how can you create something or give something that supports people. So it's so important right now to focus on what you can do versus what you can't do. And here's the thing, I see this from so many people, and it really is, it's heartbreaking to me, because so many times I see people focus on their limitations and focus on what isn't possible instead of looking at and exploring the opportunities they have, right? And a lot of that has to do with fear, and I totally get that. Like fear, when we are in fear, it actually shuts down part of our brain. It shuts down our creativity. And so I get that. And I did a whole post on this today on my page about fear and how to move out of fear, and how to channel that in a way that's productive and that's purposeful. And so it's so important right now to focus on what you can do and to not fight for your limitations. Do not fight for your limiting beliefs. You know, if you're having resistance to trying something new or doing something new, do not fight for your limitations. You want to be fighting for your dreams. You want to be fighting for your, for some of you right now, it's for your survival. So instead of focusing on what you can't do and all the things you're not able to do, look at what you can do and what are the opportunities available to you. What do you know? Write down a list of 10, 20 things that you know how to do. Here's the thing. The things that come easiest to you, that you probably don't even think about as a gift, are what your actual gifts are, right? If you're an excellent artist, if you're a great painter, if you're someone who, just has a knack for taking care of plants, or that can grow food easily, or that can, whip up recipes like nobody's business, or that you have a love for animals. Like, each and every one of you has gifts, and you have an opportunity to serve people and to help people in a way that will really support them, especially during this time. People are at home. They are at home safe. I think it's important the words we use too. A lot of us, are saying like, oh, I'm stuck at home. No. You're safe at home. Okay? So let's just start there with the mindset shift. Mindset is everything. And everything you want is on the other side of a shitty mindset. And I say that with love. Every shitty thought you have, every shitty, belief you are telling yourself, every lie you tell yourself, all your dreams and everything you want and desire is on the other side of that, right? The stories you tell yourself about what's possible for you, the stories you tell yourself about, why me, or who am I to do this? Who are you not to do this, right? If not you, then who? And here's the other thing I hear a lot, and I notice comes up a lot for people. Well, there's so many other people that do what I do. I don't give a shit. Because here's the thing. Yes, there may be, 10 photographers in your area. There may be, 5,000 artists in the world. There's a lot more than that, I can tell you that. But there's also 8 billion people in the world. So I don't care how many people there are that do what you do or do what you want to do. They want to hear it from you. Not everybody can hear it from the same person. Some people love Madonna. Some people love Lady Gaga. Does that mean that either shouldn't exist? Hell no. Here's the thing. You have a unique voice. You have a unique way of looking at the world. You have your own vision, your own creativity, and somebody out there can only hear it from you. Somebody can only learn from you. Each and every one of us is like a bird, putting our call out to other birds like us. And so I want you to let go of the lack mindset that you've been playing out in your head about, oh, there's too many people doing what I do. Or the lack mindset of nobody will want this, or nobody's spending money anymore, or nobody can afford this. You know, there was a time when I first started in photography back in 2007. I was broke AF, and I was a single mom. I was living in assisted living. I was paying $25 a month for housing. And I remember, like, at that time, I decided to start a business. Because I was like, I got nothing to lose, so why not? And I went for it. And here's the thing. The very first few years, I had an absolute poverty mindset. And it took me a long time to work through my money stuff. However, your friends are not your clients. You may not even be your client. So what I mean by that is, I remember I charged my first wedding, I charged $400. And the next time I went to up those prices, I remember thinking, like, nobody can afford that. I can't afford that. Like, my friends can't afford that, right? And I think I went up to like $800 the next time. And I remember there was a point where I was like, okay, but I can't, this isn't sustainable. Like, I can't keep operating like this. I can't keep spending this kind of money or this kind of energy for $800. So I decided to create some packages. And then I had a lower point, an entry point, a middle, and then a higher point. And I remember the highest one, I was like, there's no way, nobody's gonna pay for that. Like, I did it almost as a joke. And then one day, somebody bought it. And that made me realize, holy shit, there are people out there that will pay me well for what I do. And from that moment on, I knew that it's not about how much money someone has. It's not about how much, how much I think someone will spend. It's about what people value. And if you're giving value to people, they will pay you for it. And even in an economic downturn, people will pay you for what they value. They will find a way. And so don't buy into the belief that just because maybe you are in a struggle financially, that somebody else can't pay for what you are offering. I want you to eliminate that from your mind, because so often we project our own fears or our own money beliefs onto other people. And it's just not true. And so now more than ever, people are needing what you have to offer. They are needing what you have to give. And so it's important for you not to hold back or to hold your gifts because of what you think is maybe going on for other people. Like, don't put your money fears or project your own fears onto other people, because you don't know what their situation is. You don't know what they need, right? Or what they can afford or what they can do. And so it's important for your own well-being and your own state and mind to know that what you have to offer is valuable and what you have to give is needed, probably even more than ever right now. And so let's focus on what you can do and how you can serve people and how you can give value. Because so often we limit ourselves. And I made a post about this yesterday, and I will say it again. I will stand for your soul. I will be here and I will stand for your soul and for what you say you want, but I will not buy into your limitations, and I will not buy into your limiting beliefs, and I will not allow you to keep going. When I work with my clients, I do not buy into the stories they're telling themselves. If it is something that it disempowers them and something that I will bring it to attention, because in the most loving and compassionate and beautiful way, but I will not let them continue moving forward with the belief that I can't do it, I don't have enough, I don't know enough, I am not enough. Like, I will not stand for that. That is not what your soul is here to do. That is not what your soul is calling you to. And I will not fight for your limitations. I will stand and I will fight for your soul and what you say you want. I will stand for you. I will stand with you in that. But you got to believe it for yourself. And you got to believe that what you want is possible. And I said it a little earlier and I'll say it again. Everything that you want and desire is on the other side of a shitty mindset. And I say that with love. And I say that because I've been someone that has had to work through all of my mindset shit. Like, I had a lot of it. You know, beliefs about myself, beliefs about money, beliefs about abundance, beliefs about negativity. Like, I've had to work through all of it. And it's not to say I'm perfect by any means, but I've come a long way. And because of the work I've done around my mindset, I am able to stand here and stand for people and support people and stand for myself in what I want, and not allow my thoughts about what's possible to get in the way of what I'm trying to create, of what I'm wanting to bring to life. And so you can't focus on the current situation and believe that that's the end, right? That is not, this is just a blip in your life. This time right now that we're in, this moment in history is just a blip. And soon it will be over. And then we have to be able to look back on this time and say, what did I do with that time? Did I allow myself to stay in that fear and let it pull me down? Or did I rise up and did I create and did I bring to life what I actually want? And so it's so important right now to focus on what you can do instead of looking at what you can't do. Focus on, how can I serve my people? How can I serve and give value now? Because even if they don't buy from you in this moment, they're going to remember you. So how can you, and Polly, if you're just joining, welcome. Polly, Sarah, Antonia, welcome. If you are just joining, and Polly, I'm not sure if you're still on the call, or on the live, but I mentioned before, if you're a real estate agent, how can you get into the houses and start giving virtual tours to people who are potentially your clients? You know, like, think outside the box. How can you take what you would normally do in person and bring it to the virtual world, right? Can you give virtual tours? Can you teach people, you know, something? Can you give them tips on, or share your experience, or share why you love doing what you do? Like, whoever you are and whatever your you know, your mission is, or whatever you're looking to serve people in, how can you share your experience of why you love what you do? How can you give them value? And how can you share in a new way? Because everything that we do can be done online. Just about everything. If you're someone who was doing massage and now you can't be touching people or be near people, you know, how can you give tips or make little maybe videos on how to do self-massage, right? How can you give value right now to the people who you can't be with? And here's the other piece to this. The more you focus on what you can do, and you focus on serving your people, even if you can't be with your people right now, the more purpose you're going to have, the more feeling of purpose you're going to have, and you're not going to be sitting in the muck of this situation. You're rising above what's happening, right? You're not ignoring what's happening, but you're rising above it, and you're taking control of what you can do. You're taking control of what you can focus on, right? Because we can't control what's going on in the world right now. We just can't. And we don't know what's going to happen, right? But what we do have control in is how we show up in the world right now, and how we look at what's happening, right? How we perceive it. So it's important right now to focus on, what can I do for myself right now? What can I do for myself, and how can I serve my people? That's it. That's the only thing you control. You control your emotional state and your mindset. That's what you have control over right now. So how can you use what you know in a way that's productive and that's helpful and that feels good to you, right? That keeps you out of the fear. Because right now it's so important for us to focus on things that bring us joy, that feel good, and that we can use as a way to serve people. And, you know, I know sometimes people feel like, oh, but, you know, if there's so many things going on in the world and I feel good, like, I feel kind of guilty about that, right? Well, here's the thing. It is so important to participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world. So what I mean by that is we need the light. We need people in their joy just as much, if not more so, than we need people in fear. In fact, I know that's true. Like, there are people that are waking up and they're starting to realize, like, oh, I guess my government is not for me. I guess healthcare is broken. All these things, right? We're waking up to the realities of what has not been working. And so it's so important to be in our light and to be in our joy, because so many people are in fear. And if you're one of them, if you're someone who's in fear and having a hard time, you know, reach out, get support. And focus on how can I transmute this fear into something of purpose, something of creativity, something that gives value or serves other people. When you get outside of yourself and you serve others, you're no longer in your own shit. And I know this because this is one way that I help keep myself out of that place, is showing up and serving your people, focusing your attention on what you want instead of focusing on what you don't want. And so right now it's important, as people are waking up and as people are in their own fear, it's important to have as many people as possible to be in our light. So do not feel bad if you feel like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I feel joyful. I feel happy. I feel like I'm getting to explore and to create and to do all these things I haven't been able to do in a long time. Like, don't feel bad about being joyful, because it's needed right now. So wherever you are is absolutely okay, right? And it may be different from moment to moment, from day to day. Some days I feel really up, and then some days I feel down, right? And that's where I have to really watch, like, where my energy's at, because I am very empathic, I'm very intuitive, and I feel the collective sorrows of the world and of, you know, the people around me. And so I have to keep that clean, and I have to watch that, right? So when I'm having a low, I let myself feel whatever I need to feel. I cry it out, or whatever, you know, if I'm frustrated or angry, I let myself feel that, right? But I'm not channeling or putting that out onto anybody else. I'm letting myself be with the emotions, right? Be with the feelings. And then once it's passed, those feelings have passed, I'm like, okay, now what do I want to do? How do I want to take care of myself so I can move forward, right? Because it can shift from moment to moment, like I said, day to day. So wherever you are is absolutely okay. But I really want to make sure that you get that even if you aren't feeling any of those things and you feel joyful and you feel happy and you feel excited, that's all okay too, right? Because we need people in their light. We need people showing up in their joy, because it gives the people who aren't hope. So we need both. We need contrast. So to wrap this up, what can you focus on right now that you can do? What can you focus on that will feel good and that you can serve others, and you can focus on giving, right? What can you give or create that would really serve someone right now? And it doesn't have to cost a lot, right? You could make a 3-series video or 6-series video teaching somebody how to do something and then selling it as a course for like $20. You get 50 people to buy it, well, guess what? You just paid your rent. What I'm saying is, instead of focusing on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do and how you can serve. Because a lot of people need support right now in many different ways, right? Some people just want to have activities their kids can do so they're not bored. Or some people want to have, know how to, like, if you're a hairstylist, like, so many people are turning to the box color because they're about to, their roots are growing out, or they're needing to know how to trim hair, right? How can you create a video or a class or a course that supports them in, cutting their own hair? That doesn't mean they're not going to ever come back to you. And that's where I'm talking about that abundant mindset. That doesn't mean just because you share or teach someone how to do what you do, doesn't mean they're never coming back. People don't want to be taking time to do that. But right now they're in a situation where they're kind of forced to do it. So instead of like holding back your gifts, share those with people. Share what you know. And you can charge for it. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but like charge for it. You can make yourself some money. You're serving your people. They're getting what they need. You're getting what you need. And then, it's an exchange. And that's all money is. It's an exchange of energy. Where we put all these thoughts and ideas and beliefs about it are things that we heard growing up, or things that we decided, or things that we, like, mindset around money is a huge thing, and it's a huge trigger for people. And it's what's preventing you from having it. The thoughts you have about money is what keeps you from actually having it, from growing wealth and to be abundant. So really let that sink in, because if you're someone that's sitting there and you're like, ugh, I always struggle with money, or I never have enough, or the things you're telling yourself is why you're not having it. So I really want you to shift that, because I want all women, especially, like, I love the men too, no offense to the men, but I want all women to thrive. And nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody's going to come and fix it for you. You have to be willing to look at the thoughts, the ideas, the mindset that you have, and shift out of that. That's the only thing that's going to get you to the other side of it. And you have so much potential and so much creativity and so much available to you that you can do. But if you're focusing on everything you can't do, you're never going to get there. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. If you're focusing on your limitations and your limiting beliefs and the things that you can't do, you will not get there. It's that whole saying of, like, whether you say you can or whether you say you can't, you're right either way. It's so true. The stories you tell yourself matter. So pay attention and focus on what you want. Don't pray. Worry and fear is just praying for what you don't want. So focus on what you do want. Focus on, how can I create? How can I do things differently? How can I make things happen? Right? And what if it was fun? And what if it was easy? I love you guys. If you're needing support and you're needing help shifting out of that mindset, or coming up with ideas, or you just want an overall, like, support, like, reach out. I'm doing readings with people. I'm doing coaching with people on a pay what you can basis, because I want to support as many people as possible. So if you're struggling right now and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, or how to get out of this, or how to move forward in this, reach out. I'm happy to help. Okay? But again, focus on what you can do, because there's a lot. Even if right now it's hard to see. Like, get creative, brainstorm, think about, what could I do? How could I take these in-person situations, and how can or what do I know that I can teach, right? There's so much opportunity and possibility here for you. But you got to believe it. Okay? Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.